What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Them Nerds Throwback Thursday. This is the third installment of our X-Men Throwback series. We are going to be talking today about X-Men 3, aka X3, aka X-Men The Last Stand, aka Trenchcoat Jean Grey.
Most menacing Jean Grey of them all.
Yep. AKA Skanky Jean Grey. All right. So this film, the third in the original X-Men trilogy, came out in 2006, and it was directed by Brett Ratner. Did pretty well, not bad. Introduced some characters that were fan favorites. Had some good stuff, had some bad stuff. What were your impressions watching this again?
I just didn't, it was, what a lot of people who just aren't happy with the way things are going. It is what it is. That movie is crap. It's a crap sandwich wrapped up in crap.
Tell us how you really feel, Jerry.
Yeah. It had absolutely no source material in it, yet crammed in so much source material in it. So they were it's like when you watch a really good fighter pilot, how they can look like they're about to crash into the ground, but then they just skim the surface of it and take right back off. That was this movie. We're going to skim and hit the surface of the Phoenix Saga, and then we're going to go away from it. We're going to skim and hit the surface of the Cure, and then we're going to get right away from it. It was just it was destroying great story after great story after great story.
I wrote down on my notes when I was watching this, I wrote Phoenix ? Because we were led to believe that this was going to be Jean Grey being possessed by the Phoenix Force, and she was going to be this cosmic presence. But it ended up just being that she had split personalities?
It wasn't even that. Charles Xavier explains it himself. He's the mastermind, super, Omega mutant that used his powers to put up barriers to make Jean forget that she has the stripper side of her personality. Phoenix is literally the cinnamon or the sapphire or the diamond of any gentleman's club you can think of. That's what they had decided to go with this character. They literally, he says, she as a separate part of her brain that is full of lust and desire. That has nothing to do with the character in the comic books.
He put up a hoe wall.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to keep the hoe behind that wall. Yeah.
There's a thought over here. You just can't see it.
Oh, man.
It was horrible. And then you watch X2 and they introduce great characters like Nightcrawler. Completely gone.
Where was he? I was so mad about that because we just did X2 and I was so stoked about how they did Nightcrawler. And in this film, I was stoked about Beast. I liked Beast in this movie. And if both of them would have been there, it would have really filled out this because I wrote down here, they had the building blocks for some really great stuff. Look at some of the characters that were in here. Angel, barely even, he was boohoo daddy. First of all, the scene where he was trying to cut off his wings almost made me throw up in my bed.
Yeah.
Disgusting. You had Juggernaut, who was just, I just watched Evil Dead.
Tony, you're an adult. If you know you're going to throw up, you don't need to just throw up on yourself.
I just watched Evil Dead last night, just for fun.
What was better?
I would rather watch Evil Dead repeatedly than to hear Juggernaut say, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," one more time.
It was funny at the time because at the time there was a clip going around the internet where they had done a deep fake or whatever on the cartoon where they actually made the Juggernaut say, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." Right. And so they were playing off of that. But I don't get it. They don't play. First off, Juggernaut is Professor X's brother. Yet they don't recognize each other during the whole movie.
No. No mention.
I also didn't quite understand the reason why you spent basically the course of 2 movies developing this idea that Jean Grey is going to be the Phoenix, only to utilize Rogue's special effects, and then being like, we're just not going to use them on you this time, Rogue, because we're going to use it on Jean Grey. Since when does Jean getting the first base cause her to suck the life force out of people and make them destroyed? That is not her power. That's not even the Phoenix's power.
No. They made her super hoe.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't watch us normally, Jerry over here is probably the biggest Phoenix super fan I have ever met. I can see why this movie offends his sensibilities on a cellular level because it was absolute tripe.
Yeah.
Trash.
Jean Grey literally was just like, and she was like the obnoxious neighbor who just screams at you all the time. Like, you're sitting there just trying to mourn at somebody's grave, and then all of a sudden you got to hear, stop over and over in your head.
Right.
Logan.
Right.
It's like, when did she do all that? If she was going to have a conversation with you, she's a Omega level freaking telepath. She can just talk in your brain. She doesn't need to nag you.
So, speaking of the fact that she's such a powerful mutant, how does such a powerful mutant get killed by claws?
Well, okay, so this is what I'm talking about, the skimming portion of it, right? So they had the Phoenix Saga. There was a storyline that they had that Josh Whedon, when he was brought in, did, where they created a cure, not the way that this cure was done, but it was similar. And then there was another one that came out that was a small miniseries that actually I think in the last 20 years is probably one of the better miniseries they ever had, which was called Phoenix Endsong. And in it, Phoenix resurrects, and at the very end of it, she's going to also destroy everything, and she tells Logan to kill her. And it happens very similar to the way that it happens in the comic or on the movie, except for the fact that every time he stabs her, the Phoenix kind of gets more powerful and is laughing at him. And so he's just, in the comic book, he's just repeatedly having to gut her. You know what I mean? And this one, it's just like, oh, yeah, there you go. You know what I mean? But I'm guessing because there is no actual cosmic energy inside of her, whereas in the comic book, that's the whole reason why the Phoenix is there.
Right. I had two overarching thoughts about this film. Number one, they had a lot of really good characters that they could have used and could have done more with, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. We didn't get Nightcrawler back. Angel and Beast were very minimally used in their actual hero capacity. Beast was in the film a lot, but just sitting there at a desk or whatever.
Just having a conversation.
Right. Callisto, I didn't even know that was Callisto until I was looking at the cast list.
It has nothing to do with her character.
Right. Exactly. And just all of these characters that they could have done something with, and then it was just meh.
Well, okay, so let's take Callisto for for example. In the comic books, Storm and Callisto are two huge foes. They battle each other all the time, to the point that Storm has beaten her so often that she actually becomes the leader of the Morlocks, right, which is the character group that is this group that is in this movie that they never even talk about.
That Magneto goes in and kind of talks to.
Yeah. Just a heads up, guess what? Psylocke was never in that group.
No.
And if that's Psylocke, I don't even get that.
No. That's another one. I didn't know that was supposed to be Psylocke until I looked at the cast.
Yeah. And then, I knew it was her because of the scene where she comes out of the shadow in the hallway, because that's one of her later mutant abilities that she gets after she gets Crimson Dawn. But also, what was the point of moving the bridge?
Couldn't he have just floated like he did in X2?
Couldn't he have put everybody on a boat and just moved the boat across?
Well, in X2, when he escapes from his cage, he just makes a metal disc on the ground and he flies across on it. Why couldn't he have just taken a bunch of metal and just made a big barge for everybody and then just...
Yeah, you spent all this time, and I don't care how powerful you are, you move in a huge-ass bridge several miles to connect it from San Francisco to Alcatraz. Obviously, it kind of must have wore you out, because when you landed the bridge on Alcatraz, it was daylight, but when you jumped off it, it was nighttime.
It's dark time. Me go sleep. It's dark time.
My Captain Caveman.
Yes.
But that was one of the things when I watched it. Also, I did not know that when Logan is injured, he also has the healing factor not only on himself but on his clothing, because there is a clear scene that he is impaled by two horns. He pulls them out and shows you there's two circular holes in his shirt, but then 20 seconds later the holes are gone.
Yes, he has magical clothing apparently.
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. My second thing is kind of like what you were saying. We were led to believe this was going to be Phoenix related, and it absolutely wasn't.
My guess is this, that Bryan Singer was originally supposed to do X3, or X-Men Last Stand. I'm not sure if that was originally what was. I know it was supposed to be the Dark Phoenix saga. Instead, he decided to do the Superman Returns. I'm guessing the script was not done. Brian Ratner came in there, and it was very similar to what happened to Justice League, where you had two totally different ideas of what was going on. Someone thinking that they had a much better idea than the person who was originally doing it, and crapping all over something. Because that was just the only thing I can give it, was that I appreciated that for once in one of the movies you actually got fight scenes.
Yeah, that's true. And with a lot of their sort of powers involved. There were a couple of things that kind of made me geek out in that big final fight. The part where Shadowcat sunk into the ground and pulled Juggernaut down, right?
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool little move. And then seeing Beast actually like be beastly, that was pretty fun to watch. But in general, I mean, I can totally understand after watching this movie why they felt the need to go with a completely different cast, age group, start over. Let's just like cleanse the palate, because this was trash.
Yeah.
At the time, I probably would have given it like a 5, just because we didn't get a ton of superhero movies at the time. But now watching back, I'm giving this thing like a 3.
Yeah, I would. A 3 probably for sure.
Which is sad, because we just watched X2 and it was really good. I really liked it, and I was excited to rewatch this one and kind of see like, okay, maybe maybe I'm misremembering it or whatever, but trash.
I think that even if you watch the new Phoenix movie, what I learned was when Fox owned X-Men, they should have just stayed clear away from the Phoenix. So they just did not understand what they were doing.
Yeah. They're going to need a little bit of space now if they ever decide to do the Phoenix Saga again, which I'm sure they will, because it's such an iconic story.
Yeah,
they have to give it a few years. Like, just don't even.
If I remember right, also X3 was the first movie where Kevin Feige had nothing to do with it.
Oh, well, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense. Well, next week on our Throwback Thursday, we are going to continue our mutant-centric watching habits, but we are going to be moving on to First Class. So we're going to get to cleanse the palate a bit, move on with some new actors playing certain roles, and sort of a little bit of a soft reboot. Okay. So to recap the first trilogy, the original X-Men was okay.
Yeah.
The second one, pretty good. This one,
crap.
All bad. All bad. All right, guys. We're going to leave you on that super positive note, and we will see you next week for X-Men First Class. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on social media at We Them Nerds on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And that's it. Be good. Be good to each other. Be good, not like this movie.
Be an X2, not an X3.
Yes. Be X2, not Last Stand.
Till dark time.
Till dark time. Miko night. Bye.
Later.